since we were a little limited on resources, what I did was I went ahead and parboiled some of the cauliflower itself.
Oh, good, yes.
So it's already done. All you have to do is boil it for about 20-30 minutes. Make sure it's nice and soft. Now, one trick I did want to show was the core. Sometimes when you get the cauliflower and you get a nice big head, and then you get or a smaller head and this nice big core. Well, since everybody's trying to be frugal these days, right? One thing that you want to do is go ahead and take it. And it's usually got little leafy bits on it. So what I just do is, again, do a couple knife skills and just peel it on down and remove that, just like that. And then we're just going to do a little julienne.
Okay.
Yeah, so remember, we're just pureeing.
Yes, it's good. Yes, and this has a different taste to it, too, the core does.
It has a little bit stronger flavor.
Yes.
But you do get to reuse that. So then we just go ahead and do
that's good use. That's good use. Economical.
There you go. And so then you would just go ahead and pop that into your boiling water along with your florets, and that should be fine. So getting back to our onions, which have now softened, maybe even a little more than we want. We're going to add the olive oil.
Yes, it was butter to start with.
It was butter to start with. Olive oil for the temperature, really. So we've got a little olive oil. We've got the onions. I'm going to do my 2 spices here. And that's my Indian, which is 1. And then we got the Greek inspired.
That's a teaspoon each.
Yes. So 1 to 2. Now, with spices, they do age. I was noticing that today when I was prepping some of this, that the Indian one really didn't seem as strong as it was. So even though the recipe gives some things, always make sure you taste what you're cooking so that you know what it is. And also be prepared that buying your spices whole and grinding them yourself, that lasts longer.
That makes them fresher.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're up to using it, yes.
So now we've got our spices really good and going. We're going to put our florets in there. Spend a little water. Now the good thing is that since we parboiled these already, it's going to go
already soft. Yeah.
Yeah, it's already soft. It's going to go really, really quickly. And I'm just stirring to coat, really, to make sure that those lovely spices get all the way worked in there. And in this case, I'm going to, to make sure that it's done, I'm actually just going to mash those in the pan just to make sure everything's really cooked. And it looks really good.
This is not in lieu of using
I was
motorboat.
That's right. We're going to use the motorboat here in a second. So that's all just done. It's all nice and good. So what we're going to do is then get our chicken stock in there. This is 2 cups of chicken stock. Again, if you wanted to keep it vegetarian, you could do a vegetable stock, which you can purchase nowadays in the store.
Oh,
which
yes.
is great.
It's good.
And we would let that come up to a simmer and kind of mellow out a little bit. For the sake of time here, what I'm going to do is pull this over off the heat for the moment. When you're dealing with immersion blender, great tool in the kitchen, but you need to be careful.
Oh, yes.
Hot stuff. So what I like to do is I like to tip up to make sure away from me and make sure that it's fully immersed. And then we give it a good blending.
Oh, that's getting nice and thick.
Yep. And that's actually a good tip if you're looking to thicken something and not always use, say, cornstarch or roux.
Oh, yes.
You can use
It got to be very
puree,
fashionable to use puree vegetables as thickeners.
So you give that a good puree. So that looks pretty good for the show. You can do that for as long as you think it needs to be done, as thick or as creamy as you want it. In this case, we'll just return it to the pot. Now, all we would do is go ahead and we would put it back on and give it a couple stirs and make sure it simmers through just fine. And the last part of the actual preparation of the method is actually creaming the soup. So what we do is we have our soup, we take it off the fire, and then we go ahead and put in
Oh,
our,
then you put in the yogurt.
our
Oh,
yogurt.
yes.
Yeah, because what you want to be careful of is it could curdle
It
if
could
it's too
curdle,
hot.
yes.